Welcome back to Mompreneur Mastery. This is your host, Sydney O'Brien. Today we're going to switch gears from talking about Instagram strategy to email because let's be real, you're sending emails as you should be, but are they actually making you sales and saving you time? If not, they should be. So today I brought on Emilee Lopez, an email tech and automation specialist and a mom of 3 under 5, to break it all down for you. She gets what it means to juggle marketing and motherhood and how to set up systems that work when you can't or when you just don't want to. So if you want your emails to run in the background while you hang out with your kids, this episode is a must listen. Let's get into it. Welcome to Mompreneur Mastery, where we build businesses, raise families, and skip the hustle that doesn't actually help. I'm Sydney O'Brien, certified Instagram strategist, mom of 3, and your no-fluff guide to making more sales with content that's strategic, simple, and you can actually make in the small mom cracks of your day. Because Instagram shouldn't feel like a full-time job you're not getting paid for. If you're ready to stop posting just to stay visible and start sharing content that actually converts to sales and gets you clients, you're in the right place. Before we get into email, you have 3 kids under 5, is that right?
Yes.
So I was there. Mine are now just about 5, 6, and newly turned 8. So I lived that life. How are you doing? Because that is like not for the weak.
I'm exhausted, honestly. I mean, I have a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and then a 6-month-old.
Yeah.
Luckily, my 4-year-old is a napper. I hear a lot of people say that like their kids grow out of naps by like 2, 3, but like my 4-year-old, he's almost 5 and he's going strong. So
That's amazing.
he loves his midday nap, and if he doesn't get it, he's kind of a little mini terror. So naps are key for us here.
Yeah, that's amazing. My kids all grew out of naps at like 3 years old, and it was the saddest thing, especially when they're so close together and you can time it so like more than one kid naps at the same time. That was always the best.
That's how I generally have it. Like right now, she's
Yeah.
supposed to be asleep, but she wanted to be here for the party, I guess.
Yeah, she's so interested.
She has FOMO, so
Yeah, understandable. Honestly, I get it. She's so cute.
thank you. But yeah, so I work in like little pockets of time. So that's how I do it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the same. I always have like the best plans for time blocking and finding things to work, but it never works out the way I plan it will. So you just kind of do what you can when you can.
Yes, definitely have to be like flexible. I was trying to think of a word, but flexible would be like a really good word because it's just, you never know. Like, are they going to be awake? Is there going to be a fight today? My 2 older ones are boys, so they're always fighting. There's always someone hitting someone else. You just got to play with it.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like my house. And I know you said you also love hockey. Who is your hockey team?
The Colorado Avalanche.
Okay.
We love them. We are in North
Yeah.
Carolina right now, but we're moving back to Colorado in a couple months.
Oh.
So my son is actually doing the first school program with the Carolina Hurricanes. So,
Oh, that's so cool.
yeah, so we just got all of his hockey gear in and we need to go get his skates sharpened. But starting next month, he'll have hockey camp every Sunday and he'll learn how to play hockey. And I'm really excited because he has custom gear. It's great. But the Colorado Avalanche is my team. I was really hoping the Oilers would win the Stanley Cup this year, but turned out the Panthers won it again, unfortunately. But it is.
Yeah. That's really cool. I've been to a Hurricanes game once, but it was because I was living in South Carolina at the time because they were playing the Bruins, which is my team because I'm from New England.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, just so you know, I found out today there's talks that Jeremy Swayman is going to the Oilers. Just saying.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard that.
Oh, we keep up with all things hockey. We play fantasy hockey. Like, hockey is a big thing in our household.
Really?
Yes.
I feel like I was much more into it like before I had kids. And then because I was the only one, like my husband is not a hockey person. And then like all of my hobbies just kind of magically disappeared.
Yeah, that's what happens with kids.
Yeah.
But then you get to bring them back, which is the nice part.
Yeah. Yeah. Slowly working on that.
Mhm.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about how you got started in your business?
Yeah, so it was by accident. Well, the business wasn't an accident. That was very intentional, but the emailing part was a big accident. I started as a VA. When I was pregnant with my oldest, I ended up on bed rest. So I got let go from my job because of the bed rest. My son was trying to escape from me. So I had a couple surgeries to keep him in. And so even though it was a desk job, I couldn't go in physically, so they said, "Hasta la bye-bye." And so realized I needed to find a way to make money from home, and I heard of virtual assisting. So I started doing that. I took a couple courses, kind of fumbled my way through it, and it wasn't until I landed a coaching client. She's an art coach, and she had me working in her emails, kind of. I was doing a lot of data analytic work for her because that is my love. If I could live in a spreadsheet, I would. I love data so much. But she had me working inside her platform. It was called ConvertKit at the time. Most people know it as Kit now. But I was working in it and I just loved seeing how, like, one little thing, like changing the automation to delay an extra day or changing a subject line or the wording or where the button is on the email, like those little changes could completely change like how well she got sales that week.
Mm.
And so we got to play with that week to week and I just fell in love with it and I was like, I want to do this all the time. So that's what kind of started the whole emailing with Emilee's because a lot of people think of email marketing as only the copy and they totally forget about the tech side. And so I was like, well, I love the data and the tech side. And so that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I've been doing ever since. And I started that like a year and a half ago. And I don't know, I love it. It's all data and techie and complicated funnels. Complicated funnels are my favorite. Let me tell you that. I just love the way that like automations can run. And the client I literally just did work for on like Monday was when I finished her project. Um, she was like, "Sorry that was so complicated." I was like, "Do not be. I loved that. I loved every single second."
Yeah. What is one thing people always assume about email marketing that drives you just bonkers?
That it will just automatically work. Like it'll convert people because email marketing does have like the highest ROI of like any type of platform that you're trying to sell on, like social media versus email. People always tell you that like email, like you spend $1 on it and you're probably going to get $40 in return. That's the average. And a lot of people assume as soon as they get on email marketing and they start sending out their like little emails, it's just going to work. And it's not. You have to have the tech that backs it up and you have to have a strategy that backs up that tech. Because if you don't, then you're still just shouting into the void, just like social media. Just like on social media, you need a strategy. Email needs a strategy too. It is not just easy. Let me just send out my fun little newsletter every week. It's not.
Yeah, I feel the same way about like the same thing for Instagram marketing when people are like, "Oh, I'll just post and like, and I'll get some sales." I have like 2,000 followers, so that means I'll get like 2,000 sales. No. I wish, but
Absolutely.
no. It'd be really cool, but not so much. Now, you mentioned automation. Can you break down what that actually means and why it matters, especially for mom business owners?
Yeah. So my biggest thing with my clients is making sure that I automate their emails. And what that means is mostly like when someone clicks on the link in your bio or whatever landing page, freebie, product that you have that gets them onto your email list, getting them onto the email list, welcomed, and then a nurture automation that automatically goes every 3 months to kind of like warm, because like they are still warm leads in your email, but if you want to make them hot and you want to make them sell, you got to nurture them as well. Just like on social media, instead of sliding into the DMs, you're sliding into their inbox. And while it's not totally personalized, your tags and all your segments are what's going to help with that, which comes along with the automations, which where it can get a little bit confusing. But having those automations running where they just automatically send out these emails that are like pre-written, pre-ready to go, organized for the right people, having that just like send automatically will allow you to just do what my favorite thing to do is at the beginning of the month, I bulk write out my emails for the rest of the month, and then I don't have to worry about my email list. Things are just going to sell. People are just going to convert and it's going to happen while I'm chilling watching Hey Bear with my daughter like I am right now. Like all of those automations are going to run for me and I can do what's important, which is being a mom and getting time for myself and for my actual clients who need me.
Mhm. Do you think there's like a most underrated email like automation or like sequence that people should have, but they might not have set up?
It's kind of a toss up between the nurture and the re-engagement sequence because a lot of people are like, pretty much everyone's got a welcome sequence semi figured out. I think you can get a little bit more in depth with it, but that's a thing that I do for my clients. But the nurture sequence, people are like, oh, well, they're getting nurtured by the broadcasts that I'm sending out. So when I do a sales push, like that was enough. Like, no, like there's a little bit more that goes into nurturing someone for a sales push versus just nurturing someone to stay on your list and just keep you in mind. And then the re-engagement sequence, when you have cold subscribers on your list, depending on the platform that you're using, you could be paying for absolute dead weight that doesn't need to be on your list. And then also it's hurting your rates and your conversion rates. It could cause you to start going into spam filters if you have a cold enough list. Like not having a re-engagement sequence can totally actually hurt your list and hurt the way that your emails perform because all of these email providers that you're sending to, like Gmail, Yahoo, they're like, oh, people don't really open this person's emails. They're probably spam. They're probably solicitors. Like, I don't want to push this to my customers because Gmail wants to keep people on Gmail and Yahoo wants to keep people on Yahoo. So they filter out what they believe are spam. And if your list is cold enough, you're going to start entering that. So if you don't have a re-engagement sequence, I literally just set one up today for someone that as soon as somebody enters cold status, they go right into that automation. And if they make it to the end of the automation and they're still cold, they go into a little folder called, or a little tag called delete. And once a week, once a month, that client can go into there and just hit the select all and delete button because obviously they didn't get re-engaged. They need to be out of here. If they really want to hear from you, they'll resubscribe. That's the big thing that people don't get. They're like, oh, but I don't want to kick anybody off my list because what if? I'm like, what if? They'll find you again. They'll come join your list again if they really want to be on there. They'll come back when they're ready. But you can't just keep sending to them and expect that one day they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to be warm again. Like, get rid of that way.
Yeah, and I love that you mentioned because like the biggest thing for me, I love running that cold subscriber sequence to like get rid of those people. It's so satisfying to see the number go down and be like, yes, now I don't have to pay for all these people on my list that like
Yeah.
don't
And a lot
actually
of
want to be
people,
here. They just haven't hit unsubscribe yet, which I feel like is what
yeah.
happens
And
most of the time.
people are like, oh, but my amount of subscribers is going down. And it's like, yeah, but you want to go check out how your open rate's going to do on your next fucking
Yeah.
email? It's going to be like 80%. And you're going to freak out. And you want to know why? Because you don't have all the dead people on there.
Yeah, it's just like it's a vanity metric. It doesn't super matter if they're not ever gonna buy. It's like
Yeah,
Instagram followers. You could have 10, 20,000, but if it's like spam bots or like, your mom's friends that want to be supportive but actually don't care about whatever you're selling, it doesn't matter and it drags down like the rest of your statistics and doesn't actually help you at all.
exactly.
Yeah,
A clean list, a clean, warm list is the best thing for you.
love it. What are the biggest signs that someone's email system is actually hurting their sales instead of helping them?
Oh man. I'd probably say kind of along the lines of what we've been talking about is if their cold subscriber rate is too high, it's definitely hurting their list because they're going to go into that spam area. Another sign is that their click rate is low. It means either they're like if their open rate is high, but their click rate is low, you have a messaging problem. And at that point, you need to start playing with, is it my subject lines? Is it how often I'm sending? Is it where the button is in my email? Is it the way that I like story tell or the way that I sold this? That's when you have to start playing with, I like to say it's where copywriting and tech merge, is when you're playing around with all of those different things. Because it's not exactly copywriting, because with copywriting you could like say the same thing but write it slightly different. It's the moving of the button, it's how you like make the words look, and the highlight color of like your hyperlink. Messing with those things can like visually cause people to like click on your stuff. And so when you have a high open rate and a low click rate, you're not converting people. And it has something to do with the interior of like the emails that you're sending out. And that's when I say, okay, let's stop and look and see what your people like. Because the way that I send emails and the way that I position my buttons and my hyperlinks is not going to work for you sending your emails in the way that your buttons and hyperlinks are. You have to know what your audience likes. And if you never play with those and you just keep sitting there hoping and waiting that people start clicking, and you just keep rewording what you're saying differently and it still isn't happening, maybe it's because they're not making it all the way to the end of the email. So that button's getting lost, or they started reading a little bit, they were really into it, and then they just didn't know where to go because the button's all the way at the bottom, or if the button's too far towards the top, like they just see it as like, oh, they're just trying to grab stuff from me, but they're not really wanting to tell me. So just like changing those like little placement things is what's really gonna.
Yeah, and I think a thing that I found as well, mentioning like moving the buttons and links and things, getting like a little creative with it sometimes can also really help. Like instead of having like a button or a hyperlink, if I have like, if I am going to promote like this, for instance, I could have like a screenshot and put it in as a picture, but like link the picture.
Yep. I
Playing
love
with
doing
things like
that
that. Yeah.
because you can make like photos in like Canva where like it has your branding and it has a little bit of the screenshot and it has some words on it, and it has like a button, like kind of like it kind of looks like a button, like enveloped in all of that. And you're like, whoa, this is so cool. And like, they're like, how did you get that like cool squiggly button in your email? And it's like, it's a picture.
Yeah.
It's a picture. That's how I got it in there. I made it on Canva and I inserted it as a picture and linked it that way. But yeah, getting creative with your emails with like graphics, so fun.
Hmm. How often do you suggest that people like check out those metrics to make those changes? Or to know if they
Um,
should make those changes, rather.
For like the click rate and like the changing of like your buttons, that's going to be like something that you notice maybe on like a quarterly check of like your full system. I always say check out your full system every quarter, because that's when I would want you to be like clearing out all of the dead weight, is every quarter. Clear out the dead weight, check how your metrics are doing. If you notice that like again your open rate is high but your click rate is low, that's when you need to like go in and for like the next like couple of weeks after every email that you send, check how it performed, make a little tweak for the next one, and then see how that one performed, and keep doing that until you find one that performs really well, and then figure out what you did in that email and try to replicate it with your next few, and then check on it again the next quarter.
Mm, that's good to know. And now you created the cozy framework. Can you tell us what that is and what it stands for?
Yeah. So originally it was called the Freak Out Framework. That was when I was really trying to push someone who I feel like everybody else saw and who I really wanted to be. And it wasn't really me. And it didn't really do that well, especially with other people. And so it wasn't until I was like, you know what? Like, I am a mom. I'm a person who would rather work from my couch in my pajamas with the TV on. Really type of like cozy type person who can work from anywhere, wearing anything, doing whatever. And so I was like, I really want this part of me to come out. So I reworked my framework, and now it's called the Cozy Method, and it stands for connect, organize, zero in, and unify. So essentially, the whole point of it is to create a relationship with your subscriber, which I feel like is what a lot of people are lacking in their email marketing. People always talk about how like, oh, like you want your subscriber to like feel like your subscribers to feel like close to you, but they may not know how to do it. And that's why I created this framework, is because my framework is all about creating that relationship. Because if we start backwards with the Cozy Method, the UFI, you're putting you in your emails. They wanted to hear from you in the first place. Make it you. Because now if you're just sending out the like constant sales pushes or just being like really like trying to be professional because it's the email world, don't. My last 2 emails had cuss words in it. And you want to know what? They perform better than the other emails that I've sent out have. Like, be you, do it all you. Zero in. You want to make sure that you're segmenting your list so that while even though it is like a general broadcast that is being sent, you can split up that broadcast into 1 or 2 or 3 different broadcasts that go to specific segments that have little tweaks in the wording where it really feels like, oh, she sent this email to me because, oh, maybe I grabbed her VIP day sales kit thing. And now this email is talking to me about like how I can put like the product that I got into action. And so like the zero in is zeroing in on what the specific people in your email list are really wanting to hear from you. Then you want to organize. That's all about just getting your back end organized, your thoughts organized. You don't want to be like talking about something in your email and then now you're talking about something else because you're rambling on and then the story took a turn and now you don't know where you are. You want to have organized thoughts that come through clearly, and you want to have an organized back end system that's not like, oh my God, what is this automation for? Who was this group of tags that I had? Like, now I have people who I don't even really know what they want to hear from me, and everyone's confused because if they're confused, you're confused, everyone's just going to be confused, and it's not helpful at all. And then the C is connect, which kind of just envelops all of it, which is just putting the emails for specific people out there so that they can then in turn click on the button, reply, and just connect with you so that they feel seen, heard, and like you actually care about them and that they're not just another subscriber. So that's what my Cozy Method is, just building a relationship with your subscribers a little better.
I love that. And I love that you put UFI in there because it's such an underrated thing. I feel like especially now when there's like so many online businesses and there's just like so much competition. The only way to like stand out and attract the right people is to like insert so much of yourself and your personality into your content, whether it's email or a podcast or Instagram or whatever.
Which I've always been afraid to do because like growing up, I was always told like, you know, like, oh, like quiet down, like stay like blended in and stuff. And I'm like, hell no, like these people clicked on a button because they want to hear from me. So you know what? They're going to hear from me. And that's how it's
Yeah.
going to be.
Yeah, that's like it can be a hard transition to make, but once you get to that point where you can do it like comfortably, like and confidently
Celebrate.
every time, it's worth it. 10 out of 10. It makes such a big difference.
Yeah, it's great. It took me a long time to just like be me, especially even in my emails. And now that I have, I'm like, wow, it's so easy to like write out an email now. It's so easy to write out like a social media post or a Instagram story because like I'm just being me. If you want to work with me, work with me. If you don't, don't. There's a lot of
Right.
other people out there and I know what makes me great. And that's why the clients that I have hire me is because they want me. So I'm going to be me.
Yeah, and especially in like a service-based like business where you're usually like working one-on-one with someone, you want to make sure it's a good fit for both of you. Like I don't want to work with a client that doesn't feel comfortable working with me. Like that feels
Oh,
icky to me too. Like it's not a good experience for anyone. So And again, there are like a ton of other people out there who can do like similar things that would be a better fit for them. So like it's perfect.
Which is such a scary thought because you're like, oh, there's so many people out there. Like, why would anybody choose me? And it's like, why would somebody choose you? Figure it out and use that.
Yeah. And then talk about it all the time.
Exactly.
Yep. What is a simple automation almost anyone can and should have set up, even if they feel like having systems in general is really overwhelming?
Their welcome sequence. Look, you don't want someone to like click on something, join your list, and then suddenly they're getting a broadcast from you and they're like, who the heck is this? What the heck did I sign up for? Because like I do a lot of bundles. That's where I like to get my subscribers from. If they click on the bundle and they're getting my product and they have no idea who I am because they just found my product in a bundle, I need to tell them who I am because they need to decide if they want to stay there and if they want to be there because I'd rather them get rid of themselves before I did. But
Yeah.
on the other side of that, your welcome sequence is kind of like the biggest thing because what it should do is it should be like, hey, welcome. I'm glad you're here. This is who I am. And then it should tell them about your business, what your offers are. You should set expectations for your email list because like if I sign up for a freebie and then suddenly somebody's emailing me every day and I didn't know they were going to be emailing me every day, I'm going to unsubscribe from them real quick because I'm like, I don't want to hear from you that often. If one, I don't know who you are, and two, like, I don't like you enough for that. So, like, the welcome sequence should set expectations and be like, hey, I'm going to email you every day. If you don't want to hear from me every day, like, let me know. Maybe there's like a different segment that person has where they don't send you every day. Who knows? But, or I'm going to email you once a month or once a week. So it should welcome, introduce you and your business, tell them what makes you awesome, and set expectations for how the rest of your email list is going to go. Maybe you hit them with an offer right at the end of your welcome sequence, but that way they kind of get like a nice big overview of who you are, what you do, what you can offer them. And then they'll be like, cool, I want to stay here. I want to hear from this person, or they'll leave. It's basically where you're going to weed out people. And I don't know. It's really easy to set up. It's just a couple emails. There's no like, there is some fancy things you can do with it. That's where I do for my clients, like a lot of like the tagging to really break people into segments like right away. That's something that you can do like later on too. But I really like to help break like subscribers up through the welcome sequence based on what they're clicking and what they're engaging with. But it can be very simple. You can just be like, joins form, go into welcome list, exit automation. It can be that simple.
Yeah. And I feel like when you do, because I do this too, like get subscribers from bundles and you're getting like a whole bunch at once, but then also the people who are getting the like gifts from the bundle, they're signing up for so much stuff at the same time and getting like so many emails at the same time. You gotta have something to like stand out and to remember them by.
Yes, so I didn't coin this. I want to preface that first before I say this. I learned about the power of the 6-hour email because people are doing those bundles and they're clicking a whole bunch of stuff and they're getting them all right then. Well, my first email in my welcome sequence comes 6 hours after you subscribe to my list. So you get your email from me, like with the freebie right away when you click on it. But then 6 hours later, I'm going to hit you with the, hey, here's who I am. Here's what I do. I'm glad you're here. Like that way it's still fresh enough to where you're like, oh, this is somebody that I just subscribed to. But it's not too late to where everybody else is sending their first email. And it's like, oh my God, I'm getting lost in this whole group of people that's why I also tell people to play with your time delays because like delaying your email by like 6 hours or 12 hours or 18 or 24, like could actually make the difference in like how well your automations do. Because again, if we all had like the same type of time delays and somebody signed up for a whole bunch of emails all at the same time, they're going to be getting all of those emails all at the same time. So you never know how like the difference of like a couple hours and a time delay could totally change how people respond to and open your emails because you're the only one in their inbox at that moment.
It's a really good point. Do you think that is one of those things that people should be looking at when they do their like quarterly check-ins?
Yeah, for sure. Like if you notice that you're like, say you do participate in a bundle and like the bundle automation that you have going isn't doing too well, like either people aren't opening it or people aren't clicking in it, then you should mess around with those. Like time delays, button movements. That's why I kind of say that like where your button is, like the hyperlink colors, the subject lines, I wrap those into tech because I also look at those with like time delays and how I structure like an automation versus like how I write the copy. But yeah, I like to say like just with your quarterly check-ins, like very first thing, check your cold subscribers, then go in, check how your open rates and click rates are doing, and then see where like maybe like the lowest click rate or the lowest open rate is and see what went wrong in that spot and try to fix that. Try not to fix everything all of the time because then you're hitting like too many variables and then something will work somewhere and you'll be like, I figured it out. And it's like, okay, but which one worked and why did it work? So like you need to focus on like one at a time. So sometimes like you can go in and check like your metrics monthly instead of quarterly if you have like a couple spots that need worked on. That way you can like focus on one at a time.
Mhm. That's such good advice because I feel like the temptation is there to fix like all the things at once, but then when it does
Yeah.
work, you're like, I don't know which one I should keep doing.
100%.
Now, what advice would you give to a business owner who's stuck in this? I know I should set up like some automations, but I just cannot get started or I don't know where to start.
I would say to just like go in, set up that welcome sequence, and then schedule a time block on your calendar to go in and do it, or hire someone to do it. Simple. One of those two things. Another thing you can do that I plan to have out later this month, I'm going to say the word later this month because I know when this is airing. Later this month, I will be launching a membership. I will put the wait list in the show notes because I have that now. But I'm putting a membership out called the Tidy Tech Hub, and I will be sending you weekly automation templates. So all you have to do is just put like, okay, I need to put a trigger and now a time delay in this. You don't have to figure it out from like your head or like looking it up. You have an automation right in front of you, just put it into your platform. And that's the whole point because like a lot of the memberships out there for emailing are copywriting emails. Like people will send you weekly like templates, which don't get me wrong, I actually have that too. But people will send like weekly copywriting templates. And while that's great and everything, it doesn't handle the tech part. And so my membership is now going to be focused on like, here are the automations so that you can put automations into your like email service provider to be able to kind of get that going because it is confusing and sometimes not everyone can afford someone to come in and do the work for them, which I also priced my membership very low for that same reason. Because I grew up not a lot of money, started my business, not a lot of money, and it's really hard when everyone costs so much. So I have a low cost membership that can teach you how to place automations all on your own. That's also going to have office hours and build alongs and guest speakers, and it's going to be great. But yeah, I'd say just start with your welcome sequence, block out time to do more when you can, hire someone, or just join my membership.
Lots of good options there. I love a good membership for that reason. It's like you're getting the good information that you need, but it's also like so much more accessible and manageable because like a lot of the times we are like super smart and we could figure it out and like do the research and like figure it out all on our own.
Good, everybody.
Yeah. But like, do you want to do like after breaking up a bunch of sibling fights and then like making dinner, do I really want to spend the time and brain space doing that? No.
I want someone
No, I
to be
don't.
like, here, and
Yeah.
I can be like, cool, I'll just make it my own.
Yeah, exactly. You said your membership also has like, was it office hours? Is that right?
Yeah, so once a month, I'll have what I call like office hours, where it's just like a live Q&A. People can come in for an hour, ask questions. I'll answer questions. If no one really has questions, I'll start talking about some of the templates that get sent out. And then quarterly, I'll have it'll switch between a build along where like I'll pick a template that I think is super important, and I'll go and share my screen and build the template out to show them like how a build like can look inside of like Kit or inside of Flowdesk. And then the other quarter, so 2 of the quarters will get a build along and the other 2 quarters will get like a guest expert. It'll probably be somebody in copywriting for one, and then I haven't picked the other one yet.
Valid. I love a good guest expert. You're actually doing a guest training in my membership.
I thought I had to have it this month, and I've been having
Oh,
like these mini heart attacks. Um,
no.
that it's due in like 3 days, and I go, "It's next month. It's next month," because I'm
Yeah,
trying to
you're
build the
good.
membership. I'm trying to
Yeah.
like finish the membership to like get it launched, and I was like, "Oh my God, I have to record this too." It's next month. It's next.
Yeah. No worries. You got plenty of time. That would be a
I got
lot to
plenty.
do all at one time.
Oh,
Yeah. So I'm glad you realized that was not the case and you do have more time. I also love that you included office hours in your membership. I feel like there's a lot of times where programs will have weekly live calls and things. And like, I don't know if I have questions enough to actually join, but I also don't want to miss out. It's like monthly feels like the good amount of like
yeah, because
one-on-one
like
time.
you know what time it is and it's coming. I'm also gonna like send out an email to everyone in the membership, like probably like a week beforehand, saying like if there's any questions you have and you're not able to make it, because I'll send the replay out. If you have any questions, you're not able to make it, send the questions here. If I have time, I'll answer them. Type thing.
Yeah, that's why I have it in my membership too. I do a monthly office hours, but it's through like Voxer. So
Mm.
it's like a little longer because it's not as like live and interactive in that way. But yeah, you get a lot of good questions answered for sure.
Yeah. And people have been calling me crazy because I'm only pricing it at $11 a month. But again, we have the Walmart mindset.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's wild. Okay, so for $11 a month, like if you are listening to this and not joining, what are you doing with your life? Definitely putting the link for that in the show notes. And what is the membership going to be called?
The Tidy Tech Hub. Because
Tidy
we're
Tech
trying to
Hub.
stick with my little cozy theme that I got going on. I thought tidy was a good little cozy acronym. And because I had Tech Hub, I just needed like something extra. So
Yeah.
we're gonna keep our tech tidy, people, and we're gonna go to the Tidy Tech Hub and get our templates.
I love that. I love that branding. I had someone on a couple weeks ago or a month ago. I get so confused because the time I like schedule to actually talk to people and the time the podcasts actually get published are very different.
Okay.
But at some point in the past, I had a branding expert on, Isa, and she was talking about branding like specific offers within like your bigger brand. And yeah, it was very interesting. That's what that reminded me of. I love seeing that. It's so fun.
Yeah, and the best part about like I think my favorite part about the Tidy Tech Hub, there's so many good parts about it. My absolute favorite part is like I've broken down my templates into 4 categories, and you can
Mm.
choose which category you start with. Not everybody is going to get the same template on the same week. You can
Oh,
choose the
okay.
category you start with because maybe you have your foundations down and you're really struggling with nurture. So you can start in the nurture segment of the templates and start getting those ones because that's what is important to you in this time. And then you can come back around to foundations later. But the 4 categories are foundations and welcome systems, nurture and engagement systems, launch prep and sales systems, and then cleanup, growth, and seasonal systems. So you can pick whichever one of those that you want to start with, and you will eventually get all of the other ones throughout your year. Throughout the year, it is cancel anytime, but I suggest staying in for the full year to get all of your templates. But you can pick which one you want to start with that's going to serve you the best right now in your business. And then you can always come back and rebuild the other ones that you thought you had down great.
I love that so much. That's so smart because, yeah, different people are at like different stages and like have different things. So,
100%.
but then by the time you get around to that one you didn't necessarily need at the beginning, it might be a good time to revisit it if things have changed. And then you
Yeah,
have the
because like if I
template right
sent
there
it
to
the
do
same
it.
to everybody and somebody was like, I already have my welcome and my nurture and my sales. I just need to learn how to do like cleanup and stuff. I don't want them to have to wait for like 39 weeks to
Yeah.
finally get to the cleanup stage. Like,
Right.
no, like you can start there.
Yeah. I love that so much. Now, I don't feel like I don't know very many memberships that offer that kind of option. So it's like super awesome.
I'm trying to be like, wow, just like, oh my God, like look what this person did. So
The value.
I have
Yeah.
ideas.
All the best ideas. So definitely check that out. And then also check out the Cozy Method. There will be a link for that in the show notes. And one last question before we say goodbye. If your inbox could send one message to every mom business owner out there, what would it say?
Focus on your kids. Just that.
That's a good one.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just finding ways to focus on your kids and be present in their lives to me is more important than anything else that I can do in my business. Like I work in the gaps of time that I have in between my kids, like whether they be napping or asleep, or maybe I put on a movie today. So now I have like a 2-hour time block that I can work. Focus on your kids. They're probably the reason you started your business in the first place. Some things in business can wait. If you prioritize your clients over your kids, your business is probably going to fail. Because if you lose your why, you lose who you are in your business. And then it's all just going to go downhill. Focus on your kids. And then also let things work for you. Set up systems, set up tech.
So
Because
you
if
can
things work
focus
for
on
you,
your kids.
or you can focus on your kids.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. I feel like it's really nice to be able to work with kids at home, having like the flexibility of it, but it can also be really difficult. So having like those boundaries in place where these two things are like, I mean, as much as you can when you're working in like these minimal margins of the day where they are separate. So you can be like fully present with your kids to like be the amazing badass mom that you are versus like the amazing badass business owner over here. I feel like when I let them kind of, if I'm like playing with my kids, thinking about business or like doing business and like thinking about my kids, I end up resenting my business more. So setting those boundaries so you can be present and focus on your kids and set up those automations so you're able to makes a world of difference in both motherhood and entrepreneurship.
Yeah, knowing that I have clients that convert because I nurtured them and sold to them through through my emails, so much easier than having to be like, oh, I need to follow up with this lead and follow up with this person and check on this person. Like my email did that all for me.
Yeah, it's just working in the background while I hang out watching movies. Perfect. And where can people find you on Instagram?
So all three, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, you can find me at emailing.with.emilee. It's emailing with Emilee with dots in the middle of all of the words. And those are the three main places I hang out. If you do go to TikTok, it's more of a personal TikTok, but I like to keep all of my stuff together. So if you really want to get to know me business-wise, Instagram and Threads is going to be where it's.
Perfect. And I will have links for all of the things in the show notes. And thank you so much for coming and talking to me about all things email.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for hanging out with me on Mompreneur Mastery. If this episode gave you more clarity or a little boost of confidence, I would love for you to follow the show, leave a review, or share it with a fellow mom building her business on her own terms. And hey, if something really clicked, DM me on Instagram. I am at socially.yours.strategist, and tell me the one thing you're doing differently after listening. I love hearing what is landing for you. Until next time, here is to less stress, more sales, and a business that actually fits your life.